Hey everybody, Healthy Prepper here. Today's topic, do you live like the shit has already hit the fan? I was thinking about this the other day as I was reading through many different blog posts and YouTube videos and that, and looking at the different way people live their lives now and the spectrum that I see with preppers. It's actually quite fascinating. There are some preppers who are just getting into it, just never even having considered themselves a prepper and trying on the word for size, all the way to, people already living out in the woods, off the grid, by themselves, don't talk to anybody else, have no connection with the outside world, and they're just, ready in case something happens. They don't really even need to do anything. They're just done. I'm definitely somewhere in the middle. I could say I'm probably a little more than, using preppering as a condiment. I don't just sprinkle it in every now and then. I'm probably a little bit more serious than that, but I'm not whole hog lifestyle wanting to, live on the farm and go hunt for my meals every night and skin the animals and that kind of thing. Not saying that I wouldn't. I definitely would if I had to, I'm not against that. And, I just, I think I'm more along the lines of feeling like I would if I had to, but I'm not quite there yet, and I don't know if I really want to, and if nothing happens, I don't necessarily want to have to go there. I would want that to be a choice. Like if I decided to go live out in the country and do that stuff, it would be because that's where I really wanted to be, not because I felt something awful was going to happen and I had to go put myself out there because I'm afraid. And I'm not saying that people are doing that because of that reason. I'm just saying, everybody has a myriad of reasons why they do what they do, and I certainly respect them all. But I'm just, thinking that, I wonder if there's a certain group that already are kind of living like something's already happened. And, how does that play out in your life? Does it limit the contact you have with people? Have you chosen not to interact with as many people out of being so prepared? Or maybe it's the flip side. Maybe you found more connection with people through the prepping. I mean, I think for me, through YouTube and, all this online stuff, I'm surprised at how many people are actually interested in talking about these things with each other and that. And I find it a wonderful place to connect with like-minded folks and even unlike-minded folks who, raise questions and say, well, what on earth are you doing that for? That's crazy because of, X, Y, and Z. And those get you thinking too. And, the homesteaders are amazing because you could say, well, maybe they're already living like the SHTF event has already happened. And, I'm sure some of them would say, no, we don't. This is our lifestyle. We choose this. We love this. We love being self-sufficient. We love, growing our gardens and raising our livestock. And, some of us are even totally off the grid. And this is just how we choose to be. And, it's not because we think the SHTF event has already happened and we're just already living that way. Although some might be, feeling that something bad is going to happen. Why not just jump on the bandwagon and go live in the bunker now? Let's just move in, lock the door, and just, it's going to happen anyway. Let's just wait for the freight train to run over our head and then we'll peek out later. I guess we're going to get all kinds, and only you can personally say what is the best lifestyle for you. But I think it's a good introspection to take a look at oneself and think, how has prepping shown up in my life? Well, let me see. And has it added value? Or has it cost me? Has it improved my safety, security, sense of self-reliance? Or has it put me in the nut job category and increased my fear, my terror, my concerns? How have I handled things financially and related to my prepping? Do I feel better now that I have more stockpile or reserves? Or am I in a worse financial situation because I've spent my last dime on prepping supplies and now I'm broke? Okay, just, some things to consider. So the question is, do you live life like the SHTF situation, event, whatever it is, has already happened? Or do you use prepping more, maybe like a condiment, just sprinkle it in? Or maybe it's more like a vitamin, where you know it's good for you and you have a little every day. Like, for example, yesterday I spent some more time Mylar bagging up some supplies that I have that I thought could be shelf life extended if I did that. And I put some stuff up higher that I don't use that often in the Mylar bags to keep them out of the way, so they so I can maneuver around the rest of the stuff. And you kind of use prepping like a vitamin, where you do a little every day, and you make great strides over time, and it's good for you, and you just keep on going a little bit at a time. A couple other things, maybe using prepping more like a vitamin would be, for me personally, I've done couponing to build up my preps, and I would say over a 1.5 year time, I was really able to significantly build my prepper storage up, and not just what I'm showing you here, but a lot of other basic supplies that are in the rest of the house, toiletries and cleaners and things like that, so that if anything happens, I've got backstock on that. And that I would say would be like a vitamin. You can do the couponing if that's a resource for you, if that's something that you want to do. It's a great way to save a lot of money, get a lot of volume of stuff very quickly, but be prepared. You do have to be prepared to repackage some of it so that you can extend the shelf life for a longer time. But it's worth it. And then honestly, once you get to a point, and whatever that point is for you, you're done when you say you're done. And mine was about 1 to 2 years worth of stuff. And, once I got to that point, some of the things I just said to myself, I don't need to buy this stuff anymore. I have plenty. So we also draw on all of our preps for daily supplies. So there is some couponing that constantly needs to be done. I go about once a week now. I used to go a lot. I go about once a week now just to maintain, restock my current supply use, soaps and shampoos and bleaches and things like that. The other thing for me, using the prepping more like a condom or a vitamin, I guess that would put me middle of the road. Do you live like the SHTF event has already happened? I did go out and buy a lot of canned meat. I find that a lot of canned meat, although it's not something that I would like to eat normally, I rather eat fresh food any day of the week. We don't eat our canned meat. It pretty much sits here as a prepping supply. So this whole bottom shelf is all canned meat. And the best by dates are actually quite far out on meat. It's quite surprising, but you usually get like 4, 5, 6 years out. And then, it's probably good longer than that. So I do the sniff and eyeball test after that. And this is in a worst case scenario that I would be breaching this food here. So, I guess I'm trying to avoid hunting. If I don't have to hunt, I don't want to. I like animals in a can. Yeah, I know that makes no sense. But no, actually, we buy meats at the grocery store. We eat meats on a regular basis. We don't generally hunt or fish for them, but we certainly would if we had to. And, we have the tools in case we need to do that. What else? So, interesting thing, I'd like to hear from those who, feel like they're already living like the SHTF situation has happened, and they've just decided to, why not, close the bunker and, hunker down and go in and lock yourself in and do your thing. Maybe you want to go off the grid. Maybe you want to raise your own food, your animals, your garden. Maybe you do it partially. There's certainly a lot of different ways of doing things out there. I'm not off the grid. It would be great if I was. I would love to be off the grid. I am definitely not off the grid. I, have some alternative ways of making energy. I do have a couple generators. We have gas. I would love to explore more solar and more wind options. Haven't really done much in that department yet. I would love to learn more about that. I do have a solar oven, and I really love my solar oven, and that's just a fun thing. that is a great tool, very easy to use. You pretty much don't need any skill to use it, and as long as you follow the instructions, it's very, your food's going to come out all right. You get the temperature up to a decent amount. So there you have it, folks. The contemplation of the day. What are your thoughts on this? Do you live like the shit has already hit the fan? If yes, why? If no, why? Or if you're in somewhere in the middle, how's that going for you? And is that where you want to be? Do you want to be there, or do you want to change position on the spectrum? Do you want it to be more of a condiment, or do you want it to be more hardcore? One thing I think is really important for my personal mental sanity is I like connection with people. I don't want to isolate myself to the point of, being so far out or far away or disconnected. That's an important part of my life, and I want to stay connected to family and friends and make more friends and have new people in my life all the time. So those are some thoughts I have, and just wondering what your thoughts and feelings are on it. I don't think we need to be isolationists if we're preppers yet. I certainly respect all the lone wolves out there, and I know that there's a lifestyle of that, and it certainly takes a lot of skills to survive in that way, and so there's the question. So there you go, folks. Happy and healthy prepping, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this one. Take care, everyone.